In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
So if you haven't already heard, the Ocean Gate Titan, the very small submersible that was on a voyage to the bottom of the ocean to view the Titanic wreck, has been lost, according to the Coast Guard Rear Admiral. An underwater drone found a debris field, and experts confirm that the debris is consistent with that of that submersible, and they're saying that it was possibly an implosion that destroyed it. First of all, my condolences to all the families and everyone involved in this. It's a tragic event that, quite frankly, should have never happened. But I am very curious as to why billionaires would pay $250,000 apiece to stuff themselves into a tube that holds only 5 people, and they have to sit with their legs crossed to go 2 miles below the ocean surface to view the wreckage of the Titanic. I don't understand what makes people with this kind of money want to do these things. I could understand if it was an actual submarine that was built, say, for instance, by Electric Boat, who build military submarines. But it was built by a company called Ocean Gate, and the CEO, this man's name is Stockton Rush. He is apparently one of the people that has been lost on board. $250,000 to go look at wreckage of the Titanic through a video screen. There are no windows. There is a porthole in the toilet.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of Ocean Gate. Let's take a look at Titan. So we're coming into the sub. This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in, turn up the music, and it's very popular.
To look out. That's it. So basically, they're going to the bottom of the ocean to watch television, which to me makes no sense. I just don't understand today. There's so much that this world needs. All these philanthropists, these big, gigantic businesses, this is how they spend money. Jeff Bezos builds rockets to go into space and then come right back down, billions of dollars. Elon Musk, same thing. I would think maybe that you should use some of those resources to help make our country a better place to live. Spend that money to ensure that politicians are elected who really care and want to do the right thing if they're elected. This submersible is not certified by any governing body, and everyone on board has to sign a waiver, I guess because if something happens, the families can't come back and sue this company for injury and or death. But this is what the waiver says, and this person is just, sign me up. Where do I sign? I'm wealthy. I have nothing else to do with my money. I want to stuff myself in this tube, and I want to go to the bottom of the ocean to look at a TV screen.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Our priorities are backwards. Rich people's priorities are backwards. The elite billionaires who seem to care so much about the environment, about political topics that affect everyday people, and they go to the bottom of the ocean and then they die. It's a sad story, but what makes a smart individual sign this waiver basically stating you could be lost and die? They put you in this tube and they bolt you in from the outside. There is no escape hatch. It is controlled by a Nintendo controller type. You can buy them on Amazon for $30.
Taking a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens.
He's using like a Nintendo controller.
You press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right.
He built this thing
go down, go up.
in his backyard.
It's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case.
A lot of the parts look like they were found in junkyards. It looks like it was made in someone's backyard.
Couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this.
I don't understand why this vessel was allowed to even do something like that. Military-class submarines cannot even go that deep. But this thing, as big as a minivan, is capable of going 13,000 feet below the ocean surface with no problems. OceanGate claims they've had at least 10 successful dives, and I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. That's what they say. And if that's true, then yes, the vehicle should be safe. And there was a lot of money made for this company. But after 10 dives with no problems, why all of a sudden, with billionaires on board, would it become lost and eventually implode, as the Coast Guard believes happened? One of the people on board, Shahzada Dawood, his family owns Hercules Chemical. They produce ammonium nitrate or sodium nitrate or something like that, a very explosive chemical. And it just so happens that in April, 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate, if that's what it's called, went missing from a rail yard in California, and it still hasn't been found. And that chemical didn't come from Mr. Dawood's company, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to why this story has been the lead story on every news network since Sunday, when there are other things that affect everyday people like me and you are put on the back burner. It makes you wonder. If you're a conspiracy theorist, it makes you wonder, why is this at the forefront? Yes, it's a tragedy, but it really doesn't affect the everyday lives of the American people. And who's going to pay for this search and rescue effort with the United States Coast Guard, the United States military, and the Canadian military? Who's footing the bill for this? Is the company insured enough to pay back the millions of dollars that have been put out for the search and rescue? I don't know. Will they ever be able to recover the bodies and the vessel itself? They say no, because it's just too deep. So 5 lives are lost. Millions of dollars has been spent on an adventure seekers who can afford to do this while our country is falling apart at the seams, and all the media seems to care about is this story. You're smart people, right? Use your imagination. Think about it a little bit. It just doesn't make any sense to me that this actually happened. If there were 10 successful dives with 0 problems. But they say it happened, so I have to believe, right? The vessel was not the type of vessel, in my opinion, to do something like that. And apparently, it had one button on the wall that if there was an emergency, they would press it and the vessel would go and start going back up. One button.
We only have one button, that's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
Apparently that didn't work. Did it get tangled up in the Titanic wreckage? No one knows. It's just a sad story in a country today where everything seems to be covered up or hidden or going wrong. Stories that should be in the mainstream media are not. Politicians seem to care about things that don't matter to the everyday American person. They don't seem to want to put our country on the right path. And I haven't even heard any politician make any comments on this. I certainly haven't heard the president make any comments. If he did, I missed it, and I apologize. But people need to start realizing that if you're that wealthy, we don't expect you to just hand out your money to people. But what would be the right thing to spend $250,000 on when our country is hurting? Maybe a charitable donation for homeless shelters, for mental health counseling, for drug addiction counseling. Just help people who really need it. But the rich of the rich do not care. The Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musks, and all the other billionaires out there. I don't know who they are. Few of them happen to be on this vessel. But they don't really seem concerned about what's going on in the real world, because their world is not real, because they can do and have whatever it is they want. And material things don't mean shit. Money can't buy you health. Money cannot buy you happiness. But money could help those who really need it. And it could maybe, again, get people elected to office who really care about making this country great again. And no, that's not a perk or for Donald Trump. It's not. But our country's failing under this administration. And billionaires are going to the bottom of the ocean in a tube and losing their lives, apparently, because they were bored with their life. And that's it. I just want to talk about this quickly because it's been on the news constantly. It's been on every social media platform. That's all that's being talked about. There's got to be more to this story. There has to be more to it. Maybe we'll find out there is. Maybe we won't. But I just find it very hard to believe that people with that kind of money would spend that amount to stuff themselves in a tube and sit with their legs crossed, to go on a journey to the bottom of the ocean to look at the wreckage of the Titanic on a video screen. It makes no sense. So we'll see where it goes. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. Share this video with someone. I'd appreciate that. And I hope you're all healthy and safe. And I'll see you soon.